Okay, so we appear to be live. Hello there, ladies and gents, and welcome to the 2021 Milky Awards. Now, yes, I know we are hosting them on the 9th of January 2022, but this is the 5th annual Milky Awards, and those of you who have been with us for these 5 years will know that it is Milky tradition that they're at least a week or two later than I say they'll be. We have a couple of guests here tonight with me in stream just to get their thoughts and reactions to the categories and the winners. So say hello to John Cooper and old friend of the channel, Angels. Hello, guys.
Angels has returned.
I have. And John, it's lovely to hear from you too. And of course, Swiss, and all of you lot watching. Actually, I miss you lot like you wouldn't believe. I mean, I'm pretty sure that all of you would, would agree. We've had a hell of a couple of years. So,
but there are people who ask after you from time to time. Yeah, people do go,
indeed, I know. But look, we've survived it. Well, touch wood, this far. Now, I asked Swiss to actually say it, and he's like, "Oh well, you can tell them." It's fine. I wanted to go on camera at first, but then I was like, "Oh shit! I don't like have a stand for kind of my because at the moment I'm like on the phone, so I'll probably swap it out for the iPad so I can at least stand it up and say hi to you guys in person."
I've got a laptop perched on top of a cardboard box, obviously, so it's going to wiggle around.
Anyway, you carry on, Swiss. I'm going to carry on doing makeup so that I don't look dead.
Well, anyway, glad to be here once again, Swiss. I've just been doing the usual, watching Marvel and Disney movies, as well as Doctor Who, while also following politics. And blimey, already politics has gone chaotic this year.
I think basically I'm trying to kill some time until we have a few more viewers arrive. So since it's the 2021 Milky Awards, I'll ask the both of you, if you had to sum up the previous year in a sentence or two, how would you describe it?
Scandal, 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 scandal.
Somewhat scandalous then.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's just an average night out. But you know, I do just, I think the entire year though has been horrendous for basically everyone. I don't know one person where like they go, oh yeah, you know, it's been a brilliant year. Like basically every single person finds it awful. By the way, Swiss, because we're doing this on StreamYard, you know how I got this old like itch of like, oh, I have to see the side chat, but I can't see it because it's like on my phone.
Oh, okay. I don't know what to say. Then you might have to.
Again. What I'll do is when I've sorted the iPad, I'll look at it after.
Yeah, because there'll be the watch link available at least. But any comments we have from the guys, I'll read them out, and I will read out. We've got Sky Echo 7 here, who says yay with a little party popper emoji, and Psycho Ben says Swiss smells. Who got? Oh, yes, Psycho Ben. That's the girlfriend going, oh, Psycho Ben, because she stands for Psycho Ben.
Is Ben here?
Ben's in the chat, yeah.
I'd definitely say probably the most exciting, at least UK politics-wise, political year for political parties would probably be the Lib Dems for 2021, because they had not only one but two historic by-election victories.
The Lib Dems have had a good year. They've got a pulse all of a sudden. There's a heartbeat from the Liberal Democrats.
It's really. Do you know what? I don't know whether it was just me being sort of, like a fatalist, or whether I was just like right. But honestly, like when it was about to happen, I thought they might take it, but I thought it would be like 1,000. When they took Shropshire by about 6, I was so shocked. I was like, "Wait, what?"
I thought the best they would do on a really good night would be 5,000. Though I was just slightly 1,000 below it.
All of the sort of briefing beforehand was, oh, it's going to be close, it's going to be knife edge, blah blah blah. I think I said, oh, they'll get 1,000 majority. So it was, what was it they got in the end? 6,000.
Yeah, it was around 6,000, or at least.
It was just over. Which was shocking. Yeah. Shocking. I mean,
it's because I think the census was it'd be 100 to 1,000 if the Lib Dems win it and all that stuff. But yeah, and not only they've done that, but now they've managed to beat the Tories so badly in these by-elections that you've got many MPs considering whether or not Boris Johnson needs to be replaced as Prime Minister. Something we did not probably expect until maybe after like the 22.
what? And it's only just striking them now. I mean, really?
Oh,
no, we're not sharing the results yet. I was just getting the screen share ready. And
okay.
anyone who saw that, pretend you didn't. There we go. No going back and pausing the stream.
But how can it only just be sort of a thing now? Like, everyone knew that he was useless, including his own party. They only used him to win because of Brexit.
Well, I think the thing about Tories is that they only really get rid of a leader when they're absolutely guaranteed that he or she is going to lose them the next general election, which is what they eventually did with Theresa May.
I think we're through that.
All right, let me ask you this then, because I'm going to get into the results shortly, because we've been going for 5 minutes, so we won't make the viewers wait too much longer. Do you think Boris Johnson is going to pick up any awards this year?
I definitely think he's probably going to get some negative awards this year. Not any positive ones.
Okay, no. I think what they're basically doing, they're just like keeping in there is just like the useful idiot that he is.
No, is Boris getting any Milky Awards, Angels? Is Boris going to get any Milky this year?
Well, he may well be, but I know it's awful because I tend to get involved, but I've not this year, so I'm not really sure what he's up for.
Well, we've got our standard. This is where I get to do the rundown here for everyone. So you've segued me brilliantly into these are the categories for this year's Milkies. We have Party Leader of the Year. I don't think Boris will be getting that. Scandal of the Year.
That one was mine. I added that one and gave that idea to Swiss.
That was a good one. I liked that. And it was very much necessary for this past year. We've got International Politician, Crank of the Year, Non-Entity, Politician of the Year. I'll finish this list and I'll say what I was going to say. Politician of the Year, Worst Politician of the Year, Biggest Winner, Biggest Loser, Stream Guest of the Year, and Side Chatter of the Year. Those are our categories this year. And I do have one thing to say, which is that I've been very silly when I put the Milky's voting form out there. I forgot to put Rising Star. And we had some finalists for Rising Star, but I forgot to put it out there for the public to vote. So by default, Rising Star is going to go to the politician who got the most nominations out of anyone else for Rising Star. So congratulations to Liz Truss. You are the winner of the 2021 Rising Star Milky Award.
Oh, dear.
Yay.
Let's see. Good for her, but not for us. So I go on, Angels.
Yeah. I was just saying, I can't believe that you just did that to any of us. I mean,
well, if you will recall, once upon a time, dear old Matt Hancock was 1 year he was Non-Entity, the next year he was Rising Star, and 2 years later he was he was held second.
That's
then
what
he resigned.
happened. Yeah, it's true. But look, it's not really about that. It's just why is she a thing? Like I just don't get it.
She appeals to that Thatcherite instinct into the dry Tories membership, really? Basically. Well, have you not seen the picture? She's been modelling herself very, very heavily on Thatcher the last little while. The dresses and the photo ops and that sort of
thing. No, I've not, thank God. But no, she's an absolute joke.
Are you not a fan of pork markets and imported cheese? That is a disgrace.
The funniest thing I find about Liz Truss, though, is the fact that she used to be a Lib Dem.
That was peculiar when I found that out.
Yeah, she was that, and then she was like a Remainer, and then she wasn't. Like it's just a bollocks. Like she has absolutely no conviction at all, and she even has like an overbite. No, I'm not going there.
I like how you started with criticism of her politics and then went to go and physical appearance. Have some of that as well.
Sorry, it's true.
Leaving the main bit for last. A few comments quickly then. Jerry says Mike gapes for dictator. SL101 says a very late hello from Berlin. Oh, we have international viewers. Very nice. Psycho Ben says, I don't think this is Boris. I don't think he's getting Milkies. I'm probably wrong. I don't think he's the worst person in any of the categories. Sky Echo just has a lot of very shocked emojis for Truss. Psycho Benz also says, Angels has always hated Liz Truss. Angels hated Truss before hating Truss was cool.
Well, let's see. One comment before Angels makes something about that is
because I find her insufferable because she's not, she doesn't appear. Well, I suppose in some ways, kind of like Boris. You know how Liz Truss is almost like a blank slate, right? Kind of like Boris is. Like they don't actually really have beliefs. They would not actually want to turn around and do something unless it makes them look good. That's it. Like they don't actually believe stuff.
See, with Truss, obviously her politics has shifted significantly from when she was a Lib Dem.
Yeah.
But I'm open to the idea that this isn't me approving of her politically per se, but I'm open to the idea that a person can have a radical shift in their political
I think so, yeah.
So I find it believable. Okay, she's gone from Lib Dem to faction.
Well, from what I understand from what Peter Hitchens said, a lot of the Blairites today used to be Trotskyists and witty, very left wing before becoming Blairites, apparently.
Yeah, I mean that's a political progression a number of people go through, isn't it? Some people start off as sort of very, very left wing or far left in their earlier years and then move more towards the centre. We've got another comment here. Skyako7 says, shame Liz didn't overbite herself to the end of her toes.
Yeah, and I'm just going to make one comment on, let's see, Jerry mentioning Mike Gapes. It seems like no matter what year it is for the Milkies, Mike Gapes is always mentioned in some form or another.
Well, you know what? I'm pretty sure Mike Gapes, because people fucking trolled and memed him into a bunch of categories either last year or the year before.
I mean, I don't really understand our channel's obsession with Mike Gapes.
It started with Mr. Fielding, and he's somehow made that a trend, even though Mike Gapes has blocked him.
Basically. Have you got a lighter, by the way? I'm just speaking off camera to the help. Thank you very much. Lovely. Anyway, shall we get started with some awards, guys?
Sure.
Wonderful. All right then, guys. So, and I'll run you through this, even though I've already explained. We have two stages for the Milkies. We have the nominations, and then we have the actual voting on the nominated candidates. So the selection people have to choose from are based entirely on who got the most votes in nominations. So you might end up going, oh, this is an odd selection for you to be choosing from for the category. That's just the way that the numbers fall when it comes to this.
Okay.
So,
before you start, Swiss, I just want to respond to Psycho Ben's, I just like Mike Gapes because Cooper hates him. Well, I end up hating him because everyone keeps going on about him in the bullet chat. But yeah. But anyway, go on, Swiss, sorry.
Okay. So, let me see. So, Party Leader of the Year. Once the nominations were in for Party Leader of the Year, our finalists were Keir Starmer, the Labour leader, Ed Davey, aka Don't Know, the Lib Dem leader, Nicola Sturgeon of the SNP, Boris Johnson of the Conservatives, Mark Drakeford of Welsh Labour, and William, I always forget if it's Clouston or Clouston, of the SDP. So this is what I'm explaining when I say that the finalists aren't always, it's like, oh, well, why don't you have the Green Party leader? Why don't you have the Plaid Cymru leader? Why have you got Welsh Labour but not Scottish Labour? It's entirely down to just who nominates who. But those are the finalists that we have. So should I do it in reverse order? That's more suspenseful, isn't it? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, then. So, in reverse order, for Party Leader of the Year, in joint last place, we have Boris Johnson of the Conservatives and William Clouston of the SDP. Above them, we have Keir Starmer, aka Keith, of the Labour Party. Above him, in third place, we have Nicola Sturgeon of the SNP. In joint second place, we have none of the above or Don't Know and Ed Davey, leader of the Lib Dems, which means that our winner of Party Leader of the Year this year, according to the Captain Swiss viewers,
is Priff?
It's Mark Drakeford.
It's
Welsh
Priff
Raven.
Whiny Dog. Oh my god, I am so happy with that.
Wait,
I love
what?
him.
What did you just call him?
Priff Whiny Dog. Because that's like in Welsh what he's called.
Priff
And
Wiley Dog.
yeah, and Priff
Sorry.
Whiny Dog
When I heard
is
Wiley,
what he's called.
when
Well,
I heard Wiley
the
Dog,
reason why I love him is that I'm having a Ken doll made. I shit you not, I'm literally having it made.
That's
the
it.
Ken doll of Mark Drakeford.
Too bad Welsh Tom isn't here to confirm whether or not what you're saying about these sayings about. Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I mean,
Mark
I wanted like a teddy bear made, but I realised it was like easier just to get like a Ken doll. Yeah, Priff. We love a bit of Priff.
And there's the results on screen for everyone as well,
Yeah.
just so you know that
Even right, I don't know whether Stephen's here, but if he is, like we both have this very disturbing obsession with Priff.
It's just when I heard Wiley Dog, I thought, is that some kind of nickname?
It's
like
actually it's his
Wiley
title.
Dog
I know it sounds stupid, but yeah.
Well, there we are, Mark Drakeford. Congratulations! I will be sending you a tweet later on.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
And your Milky's in the
Such a
post.
cutie. Oh, I love him.
Right, are you ready for another category then, guys?
Do you want us to make some comments first on why we think the results ended up as the way they are, Swiss? Or
why people? Well, here's the thing. I personally think that if the voting for the Milkies had been a week or so later than it was, probably Ed Davey would have won. Because I think after that by-election, a number of people would have gone,
well,
both
of them, they did do well. I mean, but I don't think it was. Again, you know, I'd be the first person to be like, yeah, they did great. No, it's not really to do with the fact that they did great, more to do with the fact that they led extremely good locals, like really good on the ground, local campaigns, and dissatisfaction with the Tories. So it was basically that. Yeah. So.
Oh, by the way, I just want to make mention one comment in the side chat. Mr. Fielding's calling it rigged because, well, Ed Davey didn't win. And Mark Drakeford won, which he refers to as Welsh communism.
Just because Mike Gapes hasn't won every award this year, he says it's rigged. Stop the count. Right. Anyway, lovely people, I will move us on to the next award if you're ready. Okay. So next up, we have Scandal of the Year, and as we said, this was suggested by Mr. John Cooper, and it's been a very good category to have for this year, actually. So Scandal of the Year, you were given 4 choices. You had Matt Hancock's rule-breaking affair. You had the Owen Paterson lobbying scandal. You had dodgy David Cameron and Greensill, and you had Christmas Partygate.
All 4 related to the Tories in some way.
Yes, being the party of government, I think the magnifying glass has been placed on.
I don't really. I know it sounds awful because I should probably be more bothered by Matt Hancock, but the ongoing stuff, I think, with Partygate, to me, just clinched it. I was just like, oh, fuck this! Like it just takes a piss. Like, you know, people in this country like their heads like shoved in it for a while, but not that long.
No, they within the Westminster bubble and the Commentariat, they keep talking about Partygate having cut through. They keep talking about the fact that that is something that the public's responded to, as opposed to, I don't know, Boris wallpapering the flat or lobbying or whatever, which is a shame in a way because I think
no one really cares about that. I think it was, I
was just going to say quickly, I think it's a shame in a way because I think that I wish there was more public anger about the lobbying. I think that's an absolute disgrace, and the fact that he tried to use the rules to protect his guy. Right. But hey, look,
if people kind of actually treated it the way it was, though, surely that would win.
But yeah, but I guess it's just for most people, Partygate was a bit more personal. Oh, Jack James says he was upset that he wasn't invited. Well, the link's in the bullet chat, Jack James. You can always join through there.
Unless he was saying he wasn't invited to the party. Yes, link is in the bullet chat for any of our regulars who want to pop in. Right. Anyway, so I've read out the list, so I'll give you reverse to the winner then. So, in last place, in joint last place, is Don't Know and the Owen Paterson lobbying scandal. In third place is Dodgy David Cameron and Greensill. the man who managed to bank himself a tasty few million after the collapse of that company. In second place, on 34.3%, it's Matt Hancock's rule-breaking affair, which means with a dramatic higher than Brexit level, 51.4%. Was it 51? Yeah, it's 51.2 for Brexit, wasn't it? Christmas Partygate. So I'll bring, and I think, I mean, that's, I'm not surprised by the fact that one's won. I think, like I say, with the cut through, with the publicity, with everything about it, it made the most. That's the one that's caused them the most damage this year, isn't it?
Yeah. And let's see. Granted, it seems like they're slightly starting to recover a bit in the polls, but it remains to be seen if they will be if they will retake their lead over Labour and all that stuff anytime soon. But, yeah.
I think. I mean, I guess what's happening now is there's polling wise, we're seeing a sort of a stabilisation. They dropped significantly following Partygate, and now enough people who have dropped off, and now people are just going, okay, let's see if it gets any better, or let's see if they keep fucking up.
Yeah. By the way, Liberal Zardos says that, again, if the vote was later, Sir Blair's knighthood may have come up. I'm not sure if that really counts.
Yes.
Counts as a scandal, but that would be an outrage, of course.
I mean, I think it's perfectly possible that Blair getting a knighthood could have received a nomination or two. For people who viewed it. So this is one of the things, and this is something I may consider for the Milkies going forwards. There were a few things that happened this year in December that, if the Milkies had been done a bit later, it might have affected how they'd won. We do sometimes get significant stuff in December, so I might try and do them a bit later next year, like possibly not open the nominations until around Christmas or something.
How about maybe you should try and make January the more regular date of the awards, Swiss, perhaps.
Make January the month of the Milkies. I mean, the results always end up coming in January anyway, so.
So yeah,
that makes sense. I'll skip through a few more of these comments we've got in the side here, and then we'll move on to the next award. So
also, sorry, very quickly. What I'll do is probably rejoin from the iPad in a second. Now I'll stay here now, but then hopefully I can keep an eye on the side chat, because let's face it, that used to be my old job. So
it was your old job, which is probably why you've got so much favour with the dear viewers, because you were the one who did all my bloody comments out all the time.
Yeah, because I actually pay attention to them, and you're just like, screw that.
Exactly. All right, no problem. So a few comments from people then. So Psycho Ben says it's all dead cat politics anyway. They release a scandal to take attention away from the stuff that actually matters. Liberal Zardos says yay party time. Jack James says party at my place after the awards. No shandy will be served, but wine and cheese, I hope. Psycho Ben says Partygate was also the freshest in everyone's mind. Guarantee half the respondents didn't even know what Greensill or Owen Paterson was. Liberal Zardos says once Omicron surge is receding, Boris is out, methinks. Certainly when he gets through those what are going to be very testing local elections for the Tories, I think that will be a good chance for them to stick the knife in, or the boot, or whatever it might be. Okay then, so what is our next award? What do we have here? International Politician of the Year. So once your nominations are all in, we had a bit of a range. We had Olaf Scholz, the new German Chancellor, Emmanuel Macron, the French President, Xi Jinping, who's a great guy, 5 out of 5 stars. Taiwan is part of China. Do not call him Winnie the Pooh. Ron DeSantis, Republican governor of Florida. I think the particularly right-wing contingent of the viewers probably put him in. Angela Merkel, former German chancellor, and as always, the nuns and the don't knows.
So no Joe Biden this year.
No Joe Biden, and no Donald Trump either, for that matter. This could be, I think, the first time, or one of the first times, that the US president has not. Maybe Biden got one nomination, I can't remember, but he hasn't appeared on people's radars, which comes as no surprise, because I don't think he appears on his own radar half the time. But
it doesn't help that Afghanistan was like a complete disaster in terms of withdrawal and all that stuff.
Oh God, you know what? There's some. It feels like it's been such a long year. Afghanistan feels like so long ago now. I can't believe that was earlier this year.
Yeah. Let's see, but yeah. But I definitely am not surprised by Olaf Scholz because he did what was many thought was like impossible for a while, is that he somehow revived the Social Democratic Party in Germany to not only become the largest party, but the main party in government again.
Well, what I will do is right off the back of you making that comment, I will jump into the results here, which is in last place is Emmanuel Macron. In front of him, I should say, is Nuns and Don't Knows. So Nuns and Don't Knows got more votes than Emmanuel Macron did.
I know, but I think the important thing to recognise here is no one likes the French.
Well, that's implicit. That's implicit within all that we do as good, God-fearing English people. We hate the French. It wasn't even saying. It's just there. What was I talking about before? Yes, right. Okay, so Macron got beaten by the Nuns and Don't Knows. Then in joint third place, we have Ron DeSantis, of Republican governor of Florida. We also have Xi Jinping, the president of China. In second place, Angela Merkel, which means the new German Chancellor, Olaf Scholz, has been voted International Politician 2021.
But that's because he's basically Mark Drakeford, who speaks German.
German Mark Drakeford.
Yes, he is. I'm not shitting you. He is. He's like just likable and sweet, and he's another Kenda. I might have to have one done.
Let's see. My understanding, Olaf Scholz is more on the centre or right wing of the Social Democratic Party in German politics, at least. But I have no idea what that is in terms of UK politics.
I hazard a guess it places him on the overall centre left, but
he is basically again he is Mark Drakeford, centre left, sweet, like genuinely not kind of over involved in trying to make I guess just like make everything for himself, and he's like a safe pair of hands, as boring as that sounds.
I feel that probably why he's been voted as International Politician of the Year from our viewership is probably just because he's the leader of the equivalent of the Labour Party in Germany, and he's finally won. And he's in charge after Merkel's been, because Psychobenz has put a comment, which is fair dues. I've literally heard nothing out of him, complete non-entity. Aside from the fact that he's won, I haven't seen loads of him. That's the only noteworthy bit of news. So but I think it's probably the significance of the fact that, oh look, a party that hasn't actually been the leading party of government in that country for ages has finally won. There's the leader.
It's too bad you were a bit absent during the time of the German elections, Swiss, because that would have been an interesting stream to discuss about the outcome of that.
I should, I ended up missing the German and the Canadian ones in the end,
and the Japanese one as well.
Oh well, the same party that always wins win.
Yeah. Well, granted, let's see. I think there was some hope that, let's see, at the very least, the Japanese opposition was able to make it so the LDP would lose their majority and have to rely mostly on their coalition partners, but that didn't end up being the case because the whole scandals with the pandemic there and the Olympics. But
I was surprised about, sorry, John, I don't mean to comment on the Japanese ones, but I have to say you're right when it comes to the German ones. I was surprised. Like I was kind of, paying attention enough to be still kind of like, wait, what? So it wasn't like outside the prospects, but it was still quite like, okay.
Let's see. Well, sorry. From what I can tell, it first went like usual of the, let's see, Merkel's Union Party or CDU was going to win it, and then it looks like the Greens might win it. Then back to CDU, and then voila, the SDP won it last minute and all kind of things. I think that's how it went. It was like it went back and forth of who was going to win it, which doesn't really happen in like UK politics, really. But yeah.
I'm going to press on with the awards, guys, because we've got about 10 of them.
Sorry.
It's fine, but just quite a few to get through. So I'm going to do a few comments quickly, just responding to the latest one. Sky Echo, we do love to hate the French, don't we? Of course. Jack James says, do we have a category for insurrection of the year? We do not, although I have a good feeling that Washington DC would be the winner of that one.
I personally don't mind the French side going on.
No, that's fine. Stick that out there if you want. Macron will appreciate it. Frank says no because he's a smooth operator. Dr. Engineering says I'm supporting Labour. Liberalzada says a suggestion instead of don't know, replace it with Monty Brewster. Dr. Engineering also says Angela Raynor is on fire. SL101 says, who joins us from Berlin. So thank you. Very helpful for us here. The right wing of the SPD are the rough equivalent of the Blairites when it comes to us trying to place Schultz's politics. So a Blairite, I suppose we can say something similar to that. Right. Do we want another award? Yes.
Yes, because I think some of the remaining side chat comments might be a bit too controversial.
I'm not talking about Palestine. I'll get called an anti-Semite. It's not happening. Souls. Crank of the year.
Swiss. I think Jerry is in the Witsy private chat.
Oh, is he? Did you tell me? I've seen him there. YouTube. Yeah, Jerry.
He's. I think because I just saw that he was like sending message, but I'm not sure that he can.
He's sending. I'll read out what Jerry's had to say because he is here with us, but he hasn't actually been able to join. He says, "Fuck's sake, it won't let me use my mic or camera. Fucking mobile. Fucking fucker fuck. YouTube chat doesn't let me swear, so I'm really going at it." So he's with us in spirit, guys. Don't worry.
Look, I mean, look, you have to forgive him. He's Irish. Like they all swear loads.
They do. All right. Another. I'll tell you what. There's a comment that I'm not going to read it out now, but I'll pick up on it later when we get to another award because it will be relevant. But for now, okay. So Crank of the Year, guys. Crank of the Year. We had 4 finalists for Crank of the Year in no particular order. They were Piers Corbyn, GB News, Insulates Britain, and Lawrence Fox. Now, I was spoilt for choice for this one. I felt that in a way many of them were deserving. I was very torn between. I don't know. Probably Insulate Britain and Piers Corbyn were the two that I was torn picking between. Do you just want the results, or does anyone want to say?
Well, I'm going to make a few comments. First off, I'm surprised Great Britain News is still ongoing. I thought it would have been scrapped by now. And Angels has disappeared. And for Piers Corbyn, in some ways, I think Corbyn is perhaps happy that he wasn't Prime Minister during the pandemic, because then you'd have to keep answering all these questions about his brother's actions during the pandemic.
Can you imagine Prime Minister Jeremy Corbyn trying to advise people to go wear face masks, and then meanwhile his brother is out somewhere in London with placards going, it's all the 5G, it's Bill Gates, it's just the blue.
I think it'd be like a total embarrassment in which he would probably have to publicly disown his brother if he hasn't already done so. Because I know that his son has disowned him in a sense.
Right then, so I will bring us the results in, and Angel said that she would be back in, so we were expecting her to drop off at some point. So now, Crank of the Year, nobody picks the none or don't know option. Everyone who voted had someone to pick. So strong feelings in this one. So in 4th place for Crank of the Year is Lawrence Fox on 8.6%. In 3rd place is GB News on 14.3%. In 2nd place on 25.7% is Insulate Britain, which means that the winner of Crank of the Year is Piers Corbyn.
Well, James Fielding's going to be happy because for once it seems what he voted for actually won.
It happens from time to time in a democracy. I see. I was really hoping that Insulate Britain would get it a bit because I was, seeing as I was absent for a couple of months during the period of all that going on, I wasn't really there for, so I didn't get a chance to just chat shit about the people gluing themselves to the road. But Piers Corbyn is more than deserving of Crank of the Year. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
James Fielding says, finally, a Corbyn won something.
Well,
that's not nice, James. Islington North. Come on now.
Well, I'm pretty certain, let's see, Jeremy Corbyn has won quite a few awards on your previous Milky Awards, Swiss, so...
That's true, actually. That's true. Back in the early days of the Milkies, when I was a self-identifying Corbynite and the viewership of the channel leaned that way much more heavily as well, I think Jezza won Party Leader of the Year or Winner of the Year once or twice. He did good for himself.
Anyway, sorry about that. I was trying to switch devices. Obviously, it didn't go too well, so...
That's okay. I'll fill you in. You've just got back, and Piers Corbyn is Crank of the Year.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Did you see that thing where he was like running up the train, like singing?
Running up no. I've heard. I've basically seen, quotations in the odd clip. I haven't seen this particular thing.
Yeah, it was really weird, and I was like, what the fuck? I think they played it on like Navarro, so they probably still got it, but it's. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's like beyond. You just think, well, wait, what?
And I think most recently there was some public speech where he was telling people to go burn down the offices of MPs.
Oh yeah.
And then kind of said, "Oh no, I shouldn't be saying that." What if someone records it?
Why would you even say that in public? I mean, if you're like,
because you're a crank.
Yeah,
if you're a crank,
so, yeah.
That's what you do.
But look,
I mean, granted, sometimes I say some really stupid or perhaps maybe some insensitive things, but I immediately apologize afterwards. And I don't really deep down would do anything horrible, but it's like
we also do, yeah. But it's the difference is you're a decent person who means well and who realizes that you've done something wrong, whereas this guy is like continually crazy.
A few comments then quickly, guys. Sky Echo 7, clearly not his brother's keeper then. Liberal Zardos, someone has to make JC look reasonable. A couple people saying a Corbyn has finally won something. Dr. Engineering says he needs to glue himself to a mountain. And Pav2 says, did you see his rap? Piers Corbyn's rap.
I didn't. I mean, right. I don't agree with some of the comments, meaning because I just think like, some of my aunts and uncles are mad, whereas my mum's not, and she's like one of 7. So I'm like, guilt by association is not that great. It's also not true. So look, he might have a mad brother. It doesn't make Jeremy Corbyn crazy.
Yeah. And not to mention, for many left wingers, they love Tony Benn, but they do not like his children or grandchildren that much.
Yeah.
So very different to him, kind of politically, in at least terms of the Labour spectrum.
Oh, and it makes me think about the Miliband's as well. Obviously, when Ed was leader, you had loads of people fawning over, "Oh, bring David back! Bring David back! Charter him a flight across the Atlantic Ocean and bring David back."
In many ways, the whole David and Miliband obsession was kind of like the example of Blairites preferring only those people in their faction to be Labour leader, and like only they can win and all that stuff. But sorry, go on, Angels.
No, yeah, my point is, I think most people didn't really actually say that. Maybe us political sort of buffs. Where
not the man on the street. Not you get picked up in a taxi and the taxi driver's going, "Oh, you know what they need to do? They need to bring back that David Miliband. A little bit of third way centrism for the Labour Party is exactly the future the country needs." We didn't have that, did we?
Yes, but you see. See, it's really tough, right? To especially, well, in fact, particularly for Labour to try and sort of bridge that gap between feeling. They have to basically allow people to quote unquote feel like they're being reasonable, living within their means, but doing so and so. But actually, they love all socialist policies. The main thing is selling it, and whoever sells it best, because most people in this country, if you again and you know this, Swiss, right, if you ask them policy by policy, they always go for Labour policy, always.
Yes. Labour policies generally are pretty popular. It's the Labour brand that struggles.
Yeah. It's a salesperson. You basically need a massive bullshitter. So you basically need a Boris Johnson on the left.
Yeah. Oh well, I see. Instinctively, I'd always go, yeah, but I've got a bad taste in my mouth from Boris lately. So I know what you mean.
Who cares? Who cares? I'd lie my arse off.
Cut through with the public, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Oh, this is what irritates me. That is such pansy. Seriously, the left are irritating. I'd lie my arse off. I would honestly dance with the devil to get this lot out.
Would you opt? Because I remember way back when it was like May versus Corbyn and all the rest of it. You were given the
yes, but desperate times.
As a Lib Dem, who would you go for, May or Corbyn? Now that it's Starmer Boris, I'm assuming it's. Are you more inclined to go? Okay, I'd go Starmer's Labour to see.
Yeah, like look, I would go for anything to get this lot out.
See, I'm almost.
I'd vote smart, and I've been saying that for ages. Like, people just need to get them out.
I'm almost at the point myself where I could see myself.
But it's absolutely ridiculous that people think that these are credible people. That it's so obvious across the board that they're just cranks. They're just awful.
Yeah, the only thing that's probably holding me back let's see, granted, I'm a Labour member, and I'm probably going to vote Labour because, well, one, because I want the Tories out. Two, if the possibility of Trump coming back in for 2024, I'd rather have a Labour leader opposing him than a Tory leader kissing up to him, possibly. And so those are my main reasons and all that stuff. But I do think there are some things that it sometimes puts me off Starmer for, like recently the whole restricting speech about, some form of privatization of the NHS.
Yeah. I mean, look, I get that, John, but thing is, in the end, we are in really times filled with turmoil, and we can't continue with these jokers. It's just not on.
I'll tell you what we can continue with. The Milky Awards. Yes.
So.
No, that's fine. I'm just pressing on here to get through some more awards. A few more comments real quick here. Dr. Engineering, John Burko should be Labour leader. That would be so cool. Order. Pav2 says, "Don't Tech It," featuring Piers Corbyn as the title of the Piers Corbyn rap. Well, that's one I'm going to check out at some point soon. Lone Wolf says, "Labour don't care about the English working class." Psychoben says, "What Angels is actually saying is the Labour Party has to try really hard not to sound like absolutely retarded communists." Well, I mean, in a way, that's what we're all saying, but just in a, I wouldn't say that.
I mean, granted, you'd see those on the Tory right would probably say, let's see, Labour are communists.
Psychobenz is actually right. He knows exactly what I'm saying. And the reason being is because people are freaked out by the word of communism, and, because it's apparently really scary and things. So, yeah.
Just a few more quickly. I'll do the next award. PAV2, the country's default position is Tory. Liberal Zardos, policies may be popular, but everyone kicks off when it comes to paying for it. Right, I'm gonna jump on to. Oh, hang on. Okay, one more from Psychobenz. Also, Labour economic policies, people tend to support. What they don't like is their perceived social policies.
So, in other words, you're pretty much Psychobenz describing it as like what Matt Goodwin says is like left-wing economics with social conservatism is what Labour needs to do.
I think he's correct there in a sense that when we were talking about Labour policies being popular, it's almost always policies regarding economic policies. I can't, like nationalisation or bloody energy or minimum wage, stuff like that. I can't think of any social policies per se that Labour's offering that the country. You see what I mean? Like maybe gay marriage, but like gay marriage has been done and dusted now. I'm trying to think of the next thing, and there's not really a thing I can see that's got big public attachment to it per se. Anyway, next award, folks. Next award. So let me I don't know if I screen shared this, but that was no, that's the results for non-entity. You can't see that yet. So non-entity. We had 4 finalists. And of course, we're going to call it the Matt Hancock / Vince Cable and the Lib Dems non-entity award because it has been named in their honour in previous years. Our finalists for non-entity of 2021 are the Labour Shadow Cabinet, Keir Starmer, Ed Davey, and Lawrence Fox. Old Foxy has made it into a couple of them this year.
Well, Well, the only thing he's really done is like run from London Mayor, and that's it. I mean, he's not really that big deal of a figure, even though he's a bit outrageous.
I mean, it's one thing to have a good following on Twitter and to run for London Mayor, but then again, George Galloway and Lord Buckethead have done that, so it's not, you know.
I think Fox got outvoted by a few YouTubers, if I recall, in the London Mayor.
So I'm going. I think you're right, actually. Anyway, so I will. I'll read out the results and I'll share it. Okay, so and this was very, very tight, guys. There weren't any none or don't know responses once again. So in fourth place with 20.6% of the vote was Ed Davey. Third place with 23.5% of the vote was Lawrence Fox. Second place with 26.5% was the Labour Shadow Cabinet, which means that our winner of Non-Entity of the Year 2021 is Keir Starmer, the Labour leader.
Well, to be fair, none of Labour's successes this year have been with those.
Sorry, I only just got back to hear this.
So I think, but I think, yeah, I've spent much of the year kind of thinking, who's Keir Starmer? What's he doing? And he, I think he's giving a good showing, a solid showing. There's not an awful lot of substance there, but the style looks very prime ministerial. But yeah, Keir Starmer's non-entity. It's good for Keith. I'm good with it.
In many ways, it looked like Starmer's going to be in a bit of a disaster if you consider the early half of the year, given how the locals went down. But it seems that he's managed to, due to the fact that the Tories have just somehow managed to be so bad, particularly with Partygate, is that they've made people forget this whole locals and how poorly he did there.
I think that's a point to be made. And maybe I should say this. I don't want to take away so much because I know the Lib Dems have a very good ground campaigning force. But as far as these by-election, especially the North Shropshire by-election victory goes for the Lib Dems and the Labour taking over the Tory lead in the polls, a fair bit of that is to do with the Tories shooting themselves in the foot and Boris making shitty decisions. So how much of that is them on the front foot doing the right thing and how much of it is just the incumbents and people in charge doing the wrong thing? Yeah, but nonetheless. Joe Phillips says, well, Starmer did stuff and things and purposes of that nature.
Well, PAV2 thinks that Starmer will purge me from my comments.
Right, I'll move us on to the next one then. So, okay, Politician of the Year. I
think you're still sharing screen, Swiss.
Am I? Oh, they've all seen it. All right then. Well, Politician of the Year. I'll read it out now because I've just shared the screen. So, Politician of the Year, we had Andy Burnham, Sajid Javid, Rishi Sunak, Liz Truss, and David Amos. And who are those tiny little strips? So it wasn't Liz Truss and it wasn't Sajid Javid. They barely registered. Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor, in third place. David Amos, who was the MP for, I think, in Southend, who was sadly murdered earlier in the year. He came second. So Politician of the Year, according to the Captain Swiss nominators and voters, is Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Manchester. Oh, and Sajid Javid and Liz Truss were both beaten by none and don't know.
Let's see. I think the reason why, of course, David Arness got so many votes is because tragically, he was, murdered.
Yeah.
So
and I think, in a year where a number of people said to me, "Oh, I've struggled to decide who I want to vote for certain categories," I don't think that many people have been any good. I guess voting for a politician who, whilst doing their job and serving as a politician, was killed.
I think you're right. Like, both of your analysis of this is completely true. I think it's more like people were kind of relieved to be like, oh, okay, it might be kind of boring. But I think, again, it's the Priff whiny dog appeal, isn't it? Like, people just think, oh, well, we can at least trust him a bit. People have been hammered by a pandemic for 2 years. They need someone not like Boris Johnson.
I just want to read some comments from Jerry in our own little personal side chat here. Right. Jerry says, this just in, Jeremy Corbyn wins Gamer of the Year. And also later, Labour should be run by retarded communists. The more retarded and the more communist, the better.
Let's see. Anyway, let's see. One comment I'm just going to make before you continue on, Swiss, is I think the reason why Andy Burnham ended up winning this one is because, let's see, the Manchester Manchester mayor elections, and because many left-wingers want him to replace Starmer as leader when that happens.
I think he's... Because obviously the viewership of this channel is
do
varied.
you mind, guys?
Do I mind?
Sorry. Do you mind if I try and rejoin from the iPad purely because I think that the phone might die?
Yeah, no problem. Go for it.
But yeah,
I was just going to say, because although the channel has like a broad viewership, I'd say that its center of gravity, its base is still on the left to center left. So yeah, I think Burnham rates highly, and like you say, had the Manchester mayor victory. My leg is when I sit cross-legged for too long, it absolutely kills me.
Not to mention, you actually hear some policies from him compared to Starmer, such as like de-evolution and all that stuff.
Ideas and policies and suggestions for how to do things differently in the country from a leader within Labour. Oh yes, please. Okay, so we've got the result. Right, I'll stop screen sharing so I don't give away the results of the next one ahead of time.
Yeah. So I think
now I will try and rejoin from the channel, but carry on, Swiss. Carry on, just reading out stuff. And anyway,
no problem. Good luck.
Cheers.
So what's the commenters saying? Let's see. Besides Jerry in the private chat saying Andy Burnham got rid of all the homeless people.
Yeah, well, that was I remember that's the thing being spoken about in Bullet, that Burnham, when he was elected Manchester, I don't know if it was last time round or this time round or whenever, but he made some kind of a pledge to eradicate homelessness in Manchester. And I think, obviously, any kind of a promise or pledge like that is very silly to make politically, because you can't. It's one of those things like, I want to end homelessness, I want to eradicate poverty, I want to increase everybody's standard of it. It's kind of just. It's stuff that you can make efforts towards that, but you'll never truly attain your objective.
You mean like Trump trying to build a wall to prevent Mexicans from coming in and all that stuff?
Well, exactly. I mean, the infrastructure projects of that wall was ridiculous in scope, but in theory, you could at least say the wall could be made. What you can't say is the wall will permanently and forever stop illegal Mexican immigration.
And I think another thing might be that £350 million thing from the NHS on that Brexit bus could be another one, if depending on who you ask, I guess.
Well, I mean that. You know what? I'm not going to touch it. I'm not going to get into the 350.
The whole wall thing is that Trump built a wall. Yeah.
I'm getting bloody Vietnam flashbacks to the Brexit saga on this YouTube channel.
But you often heard Mr. Fielding go on about the whole eradicating the homelessness thing in Bullet.
Yes, but you know, Burnham has now killed all the homeless, and he's very popular in Manchester for it. So good on you, Andy. And you know, we can process them and turn them into meals that can then be distributed at food banks to feed other homeless. So there's recycling, there's a green economy, there's a new deal to it. Good stuff, Andy. I like it.
Just in case Andy Burnham ever hears this, Swiss is not meaning anything. It's just joking.
Maybe. Right, I'll get us prepped for the next award then, guys. So the next award is Worst Politician of the Year. And our finalists that we got for that were Boris Johnson, Keir Starmer, Claudia Webb, Matt Hancock, and Priti Patel.
Okay. Oh, I bet Angels is wishing that she was still here right now.
I think she'll be back just in time for us to announce the winner, maybe. Callum Ferguson in the chat says at Captain Swiss, Soylent Mank.
I have no idea who that is. That isn't even a politician.
Right. Anyway, so I'll get it because Angels will be back in soon, I'm sure. So, worst politician of the year, guys. In reverse order once again. In last place, a single vote for none or don't know. In fourth place, so the only the fourth worst, but no, is that 5? Yes, sorry, 5th place. I'm not very good at doing this, am I? I've only done it 5 years. In 5th place, the 5th worst politician of the year was Keir Starmer. So he was so much of a non-entity, no one voted for him as worst politician. In 4th place, we have Priti Patel. In third place, we have Matt Hancock. In second place, we have Claudia Webb. And in first place, with an absolute runaway 57.1% of the vote, is our dear Prime Minister, BoJack Horseman. Congrats.
I wonder if this Ritzy Milky's award was more near around the time of the Milkies. I wonder if Starmer and Boris would have been reversed, because Starmer was having sort of like the bad year then, and Boris was having a pretty good year.
I think that is, yeah. I think it's interesting that depending if the Milkies was done at a different time of the year each year, just stuff changes so fast that it's hard to say for an entire 12-month period everything's staying the same. You get variations in it, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
You blew that much.
Yeah, sorry about it. I was just taking my socks off, and you nearly got a face full of that. So anyway, there we are, guys. Worst politician of the year, Boris Johnson, and that should probably come as no surprise to any of you. Before there are some of these awards, guys, that I just, having done this for a few years now, I get instinctive with it. If I've got an award and there's a certain number of nominations that have gone in, I know who's going to win it sometimes, just because it just seems that obvious. And Boris's worst politician, I think, is probably one of those. So, oh my God, my leg is absolutely killing me. Have we been going for nearly an hour?
Yes, we've 4 minutes to an hour, by the way, Swiss.
All right. Well, mercifully, we've only got 4 awards left, I think. So we're nearing the end now.
His little legs.
My legs do hurt, bless me. So what's our next one we have here?
Biggest... Still sharing.
Am I still sharing? Whoops. Just remove that quickly. Thanks for that. Okay, so our next award, guys, is Biggest Winner of 2021. And our 4 finalists for that were the pharmaceutical industry, Keir Starmer, the Liberal Democrats, and Tory leadership hopefuls. And I'll reveal the results to you then, in reverse order once again. In last place, Keir Starmer on 5.7%. In third place, Tory leadership hopefuls on 11.4%. Second place for biggest winner 2021 on 17.1% is the Liberal Democrats, which means that the pharmaceutical industry has 65.7%, very nearly 2/3 of the vote. And what I loved about this, by the way, guys, is, like I say, all the finalists that you vote on are decided by nominations. And I voted Big Pharma as a joke. Other people put Big Pharma. Some people put Pfizer. Some people put Big Pharma. Some people put pharmaceutical industry. It's amazing how many people, without prompting, just went to go, oh, yeah, the people who make all the COVID vaccines. They're the winners of this year.
I cannot recall who I voted for, because I'm not sure if I would pick any of those options, really, though. I suppose I should probably pick Keir Starmer before being a Labour member. But who knows? But I think if James Fielding is still watching this, he's probably going to call this rigged because the Lib Dems didn't win it.
And I'm just putting that on screen so you guys can see the results. I'll remember to switch it off now as I move us on to biggest loser for 2021. Lots of people in the chat saying Big Pharma, gotta be. Right, so let me switch off. We'll go to the next one then. So we've had biggest winner, which is the pharmaceutical industry. Who was the biggest loser of 2020?
Before you go on, I think the Big Pharma got the second highest vote share behind Piers Corbyn for like all the vote shares we've had so far.
Yeah, it was absolutely stonking. Let me just check. So Big Pharma got 65%. Boris Johnson as worst politician, 57%. Andy Burnham as politician of the year, 42%. Non-entity, Keir Starmer, 29%. Crank of the year, Piers Corbyn, 51%.
Okay.
So yeah, you're right. Big Pharma by far is the biggest margin of victory of the Milkies so far. Ben predicts. Psycho Ben. Well, hello.
Hi.
Angels, you're there, and I can see you.
Angels has returned.
Yes. Now, I came on a camera on the it's the new. I say new. I mean, it's still old, but I just figured, at least I can prop it up and say hi. So,
hi.
Sorry. Carry on.
No worries. Did you see the awards we did while you were rejoining, or do you want me to recap?
Yeah, I was like listening, and then so I just
So
had to kind of.
Yeah, Boris is the worst politician, and the pharmaceutical industry is the biggest winner.
Dear.
And I will move us on now to the biggest loser of 2021, and we only had 3 finalists for this, as well as the nuns and the don't knows. So biggest loser was either Matt Hancock, Boris Johnson, or the British public. And I'll just come out and say it right now. I'll share the screen with you because there's no point in doing any suspense. Ben already called it in the chat. Biggest winner, Big Pharma. Biggest loser of the year, British public. And there we are. Once again, an absolutely stonking win. And I feel like we've had this before. I feel like the British public has won biggest loser of 2021.
Oh, but that's pretty sad though. I mean, like, you know, we might joke about it, but when people genuinely think that, which they obviously do, like, I don't know. I do kind of understand that the system's been basically dead and needs like waking up for a while, but that's still sad.
I think the last time the British public won, I should say, biggest loser of the year was some point during the Brexit saga. I think it was that year where Parliament was deadlocked and nothing could be done.
And everyone was getting angrier and everyone was just like, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the last time British public won that. Let me just say as well, in the chat, random quotes. I don't know if you know of this, Angels, because you haven't been on too often, but random quotes is one of the new staples of the side chat. They pop up with the super chat for me near enough every stream for £2, and they always say Biden was never going to be Bernie. And that's something that I said in January of last year, and that's stuck.
Why can't we kind of have, like, StreamYard annoys me because at least I used to kind of be able to see, and it's probably my fault for being really out of touch and like old, so I can't really make. Okay, fine. My New Year's resolution is make StreamYard work because apparently I can't.
New Year's resolution: be less of a boomer.
Yeah. New Year's, yeah. Well, look, I do live with 2, to be fair. So, well, currently, but that's obviously circumstances. So,
you know, Swiss, if you're able to do a stream every day of the year, you'd probably get at least, let's see, Fritzy, I believe, 730 pounds from random quotes if he just keeps doing £2.
See, I'd love it to be that. The problem is, though, is that YouTube takes about half of the money.
Yeah, it's a right rip. It's a right rip.
So you pretty much get £365 a year.
I'll take £365 for doing Captain Swiss. That's fine with me. A couple more comments quickly. Liberal Zardos, the good old days. James Fielding, you're an OG if you remember Google Hangouts. And Random Quotes says, Swiss isn't plugging my Twitter. I guess this is the end of the super chats. We had this last time. What's your Twitter, Random Quotes?
I really want
links, so YouTube will completely take the link out because it won't allow links. So you just type in
right. Okay. Random. I'll let you come in 1 second, Angels. Random Quotes. What you need to do for me, okay, is give us your Twitter, but do a character, then a space, then a character, then a space, then a character, then a space, and so on and so forth until you've got the whole thing there, and then I will plug it for you because it won't let you post it at the moment.
I think one thing to miss out of Google Hangouts is it allowed you to have more guests than StreamYard.
Yes, which on the one hand was very useful, but on the other hand, it made it bloody chaotic when I had about 8 people shouting over each other at once. Good old times. Shall I do us? Sorry, were you going to come in, Angels, or do you want me to do another award?
I just forgot that I was muted. I said you didn't need 8 people shouting when you had a Stizer, did you?
Just the one would suffice.
Oh, I miss you.
Frank says, OGs remember when Captain Swiss was Captain Switzerland. Yeah, yes. That's right. When it was Captain Switzerland, all one word as well.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've come on to the final 2 awards of the night, guys, and this is related entirely to the YouTube channel. It's Stream Guest of the Year and Side Chatter of the Year. So give me just a moment. Let me find the rundown for Stream Guest. We've got
It's been a shame though because I didn't really get the opportunity to kind of be around. So I wish I would have been in the running.
Well,
you've been on this year. You've been on this year, Angels, so you are now eligible to be Stream Guest of the Year 2022.
Well, I'm one of Swiss's most recurring stream guests and all that stuff, but yeah, I never win these awards or get nominated. So,
well, I don't know. You do well.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it's going to go this year, then, guys. So, Stream Guest of the Year, and we had quite a few nominees make it through to the final here. So, we have Tom Williams, Sidekick Girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's you. Britisher, Callum Ferguson, Jerry, Cameron Hickman, Captain Swiss himself, and of course, None or Don't Know. And it's very torn. This one, it's very torn. So let me do you the results here, guys. Okay, in reverse order. Let me see. We have in last place is Jerry on 8.8% of the vote. After that, we have Tom Williams on 11.8% of the vote. And I will come back to Tom in just a second because there was a comment earlier as well. Who's next? Oh, God, we've got three in joint second place. Jesus. In the three in joint second place are Callum Ferguson, co-host of The Prime Ministers, Cameron Hickman, regular guest on the channel, and Sidekick Girlfriend, recent addition to the mix. And that means that Stream Guest of the Year this year is the joint winners are me and the Britisher as Stream Guest of the Year.
As I had to guess,
because at the beginning of last year we talked about films for a big old stream.
If I had to guess, it's because the Britisher is a well-known YouTuber. And so let's see, and he's got a lot of fans, so that's probably why he won. But sorry, go on, Angels.
Yeah,
you chat to Britisher a bit on Twitter, don't you, Angels?
I put it the other way round. I mean, he chats to me a bit. I think it's really that. Yeah, I don't. Not really.
Oh.
No, I mean.
Oh, that's proof. That
Excuse me.
he chats to me.
No, look. Yeah, I like him. He's actually one of the few sort of hysterical, crazy righties.
Righties
like,
that you get. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's very nice. I've always found him very nice.
I've got to say, because obviously I spent a few years going on AA's channel, and it's interesting watching how that's all developed because a fair few of his own followers think he's fallen off the deep end now. But my association with that ended a while back, coinciding, I think, with me and him falling out over whether or not the US election was rigged. But I do have to say, from my time mixing with those guys and being on that, probably Britisher is someone who I've come out of it. Like I still talk to, I'm still happy to collaborate with, and I think he's kept
his mind.
Yes. It goes to show that you can have, significant political differences with people, but personality-wise, you don't have to be a cock. So
he calls me a dangerous communist. So that's fun.
A retarded dangerous communist.
I'm like, that's interesting because I get shit from you guys for being a Blairite, and then I get shit from him for being too left. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ!
The ultimate centre.
Just can't win. Yeah.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't. But yeah, I'm kind of a little disappointed that Tom Williams didn't win because I feel like this might have been Tom Williams' last year if he doesn't come back. And
that's what I wanted to come on to. So give me the floor for a second, guys. So obviously we have our group chat on Twitter, Bullet, where we all chat amongst each other, and that's the pool of people I get on for these streams as well. And obviously Tom has been a viewer of the channel and a guest on the channel for quite a few years now. And a few months back, without really any warning, his social media just kind of disappeared. So we're not entirely sure what exactly the reasons are, whether he just wanted a break from being online, whether any circumstances in life means that he's deleted it or whatever, but we don't exactly know what's happened to Tom. He's kind of disappeared. So it was my hope and my expectation maybe that Tom might get voted Stream Guest of the Year, and then that would be this really nice beacon to light off, and if he's out there somewhere in the mists of outside of us just going, oh, come back, Tom. But I do want to say this, and if he's out there and watching, whatever's going on, Tom, we do all miss you. And we were very fond of the contributions you had both in the chat and on the channel. And you're more than welcome back anytime. Yeah. So please keep that in mind.
If I may add, right, because for a while, don't you remember in the old school, like when basically I was continuing to be a boomer and we were trying to keep the hangout alive, remember? It used to be me, him, and like Cam the entire time. And oh God, yeah, I miss him. I wish that he was back. And look, I need his depression in my life because he was just so kind of down about it.
Wait. Well, basically, you've got all the toys are a bunch of crooks.
And he used to kind of bring me back to reality where I was just like, maybe you're right. Maybe I am a little bit like glass half full. And 9 times out of 10, he was right. But still, either way, I agree, Swiss. Like, look, I miss him dearly.
I'd say I definitely miss his analysis of politics because I think Mitzi, he more than anyone knew what he was talking about when it came to like the history of like these areas, the parties, politicians, and all that stuff, and he could give you very insightful answers. And I feel like Mitzi, that is probably what we're going to miss most of his like contributions, at least on the live streams at the very least, and all that stuff. But yeah. Anyway, Mitzi Swiss, it's a bit off topic. Jerry has said the F word in the private chat when he didn't, win. And I think Mr. Fielding gave you a super chat that you probably need to comment.
Oh, right. Okay. Let me scroll back up a moment. Oh, yes. Jerry gave me a super chat. Stop the count. Fraud 2021. And James Fielding gave one OnlyFans. I read that so stupidly there. I didn't realize it was OnlyFans. I read OnlyFans renewal membership from James Fielding. And random quotes earlier. I was like, "What's your Twitter?" And he said, "My Twitter is Neil UKIP." It's not. You are not Neil Hamilton. At least I hope you're not. Well, you can be if you want to. You're giving me money, Neil. I appreciate that.
What? I'd love a bit of that. Are you kidding? Right, give it. I'll be on it immediately.
So I'll read. I just want to read a comment from Ben as well. Yeah, I love Tom. Despite him being a socialist and me being the other end of the spectrum, Tom tended to have a more level-headed thoughts and points than half of Bullet. Lee Ball also joins us in the chat. I'm late. Why are my ears burning? Welcome, Lee. Nice to see you. So let me just say one more thing on Tom quickly then. Like, it feels as if we've been talking about him like he's dead. Like this is some
he's
kind
not
of
dead.
He's not dead. No, exactly. Well, as far as any of us know. Yeah. But I think the trouble is, especially when you know people online, when their online presence disappears, it's as if they've suddenly departed because suddenly they're gone. Suddenly you don't see them or talk to them anymore.
It's kind of like that one South Park episode where one of the characters quit Twitter and everyone was treating her.
Yes. Yeah, it's exactly like that.
Well, it's actually almost like Swiss, even in the past but to be fair, you have largely kind of said, oh, I'm taking some time off because blah, blah, blah. But even then, we're all like, like
people are used to me disappearing for a while though, but I haven't deleted all my accounts when I've gone.
Indeed, which is, I think that was my point. The point is like not everyone does that, meaning, yes, that's concerning. Like it's upsetting too, frankly.
Yeah.
One last comment I'm just going to point out because I just like it when Mr. Filling always says it. He says like, "This is a rigged vote."
I mean, please, not everything's rigged.
But guys, speaking of rigged votes, and God knows the chat's going to get excited about this because this is the one that pertains to them. We'll move on to the final award, which is, of course, Side Chatter of the Year. Now, we had a lot of finalists for this, so I'm going to read out a big list. Now, I want you guys to know, part of the reason that I don't like choosing the finalists for the categories myself, definitely when it comes to stream guest or side chat released, is because I think it shows favoritism. And worse than that, I feel that there'd be some people who would be deserving of me including them and I'd forget them, which is why I just leave it open to you guys. You nominate, you decide, blah, blah, blah. So the finalists for Side Chatter of the Year that we had were
Okay.
Cameron Hickman, Psycho Ben, Random Quotes, Frank, Gary Williams, Sky Echo, James Fielding, Bubble This, Everyone, and of course, None or Don't Know. So I'll just say quickly to you guys then, there are some of you people in the chat who have been loyal viewers and who contribute an awful lot to these streams as well. Just because you weren't nominated or included, it doesn't mean you aren't valued by your dear old Captain Swiss. But you're not the winner today. No, it's going to be one of these guys. So are you ready, guys? You're on the edges of your seats here.
It might be James Fielding.
Oh! Is that your prediction? What about you, John? What are you going to say? Where are you going?
I think either Jerry or Cameron Hickman, probably, because Jerry because of his like funny, outrageous stuff, and Cameron because of his insightful side chat stuff.
All right, here we are then. So, in reverse order, we have the Nuns and the Don't Knows. We have Bubble This. We have James Fielding.
Oh. Okay.
And now I apologise, by the way, because I think not everyone who made it to the finals actually got voted for either. So some of these people have been left off the pie chart.
Oh, right, right. Yeah.
That makes it extra confusing. Right, I'll up it to, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll make it the top 5. Here we are. So top 5 then. 5th place is Sky Echo on 5.7% of the vote. 4th place, Side Chatter of the Year, Psycho Ben on 8.6% of the vote. 3rd place is Everyone on 20% of the vote. So well done, everyone. You came 3rd place. Even if you weren't included, you came 3rd. That's a bronze.
Okay.
In 2nd place on 22.9% of the vote is Random Quotes, which means that the winner of Side Chatter of the Year 2021 with 34.3% of the vote is Cameron Hickman.
Well,
and I know that dear old Cameron, I don't think is here to see
let's
it.
have a little
round of applause.
Come on.
Congratulations.
Now, he utterly deserves it. But now I know that he's not here because I know that he's working now. But...
He's at work, yeah. So he hasn't. He's going to find out about this after the fact.
Yeah.
But congratulations to Cameron for winning that one.
Yeah, he rang me earlier and I chatted to him. For a bit. Look, he knows that. Like he's so good. And I think actually, John, you sort of put your finger on it when you said his insightful kind of views. You're right. Like he thinks about things and phrases them kind of well thought out, as opposed to blurt stuff out like me. So yeah. However, there's room for everybody.
We've got some people in the chat saying well done to Cameron. We've also got Lee Ball saying, I was rooting for Dr. Richmond Orson in bed. Didn't make it this time.
There we are. Oh dear.
Do you remember when we used to have Philip Hammond showing up begging for Spanner to be made a moderator?
Well, actually, funny that you mentioned that name. I can't say anything online now. I will tell you after.
Oh, juicy.
It is. Yeah. It's because for anyone who doesn't know, I'm pretty sure that they know, but he used to be the ex-MP for my parents' constituency. So mine is in Twickenham, which is Mineral Wilson now. Used to be Vince. Oh my God, I really miss Daddy Vince.
Well, Vince Cable's gone a bit controversial since leaving Parliament, in a sense.
Well, look, like all of the Liberals have been a little bit weird about sort of the so-called freedoms. I mean, I know that the truth's in the name and stuff, but if truth was really in the name, why are the Conservatives the way they are? You know?
There's one more thing I want to do, by the way, guys. We've been through all of the awards. Oh, you know what? I'll just screen share the results there as well, just so you know that I wasn't.
Oh, there we are. Oh, good.
So there you are. I got Stream Guest of the Year there and Side Chatter of the Year as well.
what I love, Swiss, is they're like perfect graphs. You've obviously like pre-prepped them. It's brilliant.
Well, I see. I've got to admit, I haven't done any of this work. Google Forms does it all for me. So
Fine.
I've done nothing. I'm afraid.
What about what was it that they called your poor girlfriend, standing girlfriend or whatever?
Sidekick girlfriend.
Oh yeah, her name's Kate. Look, I was like, who is this Kaylee? Oh, we've got another girl, and I was like, oh, it's Swiss's girlfriend.
You.
By the way, no offense.
You've doxed her now. You've doxed her now. I've never said her name on stream before.
Oh shit! Sorry, I didn't know it was secret. Her name's Carly.
Yeah. KK Kaylee, the white supremacist.
Wow. Wow, let's not.
Oh God, I feel terrible now. I'm really sorry. No, it's just that I got super kind of excited, like, oh, it's just another random, right? And then I was like,
this isn't just any random. This is random.
The thing is, I really am like not concerned, but yeah, a little bit kind of gutted that we've never been able to get more girls ever.
That we've been that because basically it's been recently, at least, it's been me sometimes tweeting you and Rowan and being like, hey, you guys want to come
me
on?
and Rowan, and
never quite been able to get someone on, like, for the times to work out. But now look at all this female representation we got now. Half yes in 2022.
Because of Carly, the white supremacist, and then we've got the
if you count KK Kaylee as well.
Do not call me that. Do not let that stick, for fuck's sake.
Nobody knows. It's all right.
If you count Ku Klux Klaylee as well, then actually 2/3 of the Captain Swiss guests of 2022 have been women. So
are you serious?
I think something tells me you're going to be sleeping on the sofa tonight.
This year, but still.
Oh, right.
Swiss. Something tells me you're going to be sleeping on the sofa tonight.
Oh well, you know what though, it has been a pleasure to kind of add her and I was kind of lurking and watching her chat about history, I think with with Cam and Jerry and Robin, I think, and I was just like, I could do with some of that knowledge too. So I was just like secretly kind of soaking up because my history knowledge is awful, and I didn't even realize that you two were other halves.
Oh, look at us! You made us start giggling at each other now. That's something.
Oh, I know. But you know what I'm like. I'm very much like sort of.
I'm sorry, the way that Frank has spelt my name is absolutely abysmal.
Ku Klux Klaylee.
Klaylee.
I think Klaylee.
I wish that I could see the damn side chat. I can't. So.
It's exactly what you'd imagine it to be.
I am appalled.
Right. What I wanted to do, guys, as well. So we've done all the awards, but I just wanted to mention one more thing at the end, which is I also asked the respondents about the future of the Milky Awards. Right. And one of them was regarding international politician. I said, do you think it should be kept as it is? Do you think it should be split into US politician and international politician, split into best international and worst international, or create loads of new categories, have best US politician, worst US politician, best international, and worst international, and then that nicely complements the best and worst we have of UK politicians.
Swiss, this is a perfect opportunity to make me do a comment that I would see, just as when you would completed nominations and all that stuff, I actually had a new idea for a new category, but it was too late to suggest it. So
you hold that thought, because that is the very next thing we're getting on to. Suggesting new awards. So if you give me 1 minute, yeah. So anyway, it wasn't a clear. We didn't sort of have a clear majority. It's a what would you call it? A plutocracy. When it gets the most, but it isn't the whole thing. Anyway, The most votes went for changing international politician to be best US politician, worst US, best international, worst international. So probably that's what it will be next year, or some variation of that. We're going to branch out a bit so you've got more choice. Right. So anyway, what I was going to get onto, John, is that suggestions for new awards. I just wanted to read out some that we had from people here, and then you can throw yours in as well. So I asked the people, Future Milky, suggestions for new awards. We had Cracker of the Year. No clue, to be honest. Gamer of the Year. Biggest Bigot Award. Northern Ireland, Wales and Scotland's Worst Politician of the Year. Falling Star Fell Off. Political Meme of the Year. Quote of the Year. Poster of the Year. Political Ideology of the Year. Politicians of the Year. Worst Globalist. Worst Nationalist. Worst Government Decision. Buffoon or Joke of the Year. Best and Worst Election of the Year. Rising Star. People just put in Rising Star because I forgot. Maybe. Best and Worst Piece of Legislation. Biggest Prick of the Year. Most batshit insane candidate for public office. And Funniest News Story of the Year. For example, my nominations this year would be GameStop to the Moon Share Boom and Lord Miles Rutledge's Afghanistan Adventure. So, at the very least, I've read all those guys, and I will be taking them into consideration when thinking about the awards for next year. But at the very least, as a given, we're going to be splitting international into a few new awards.
Yeah. But yeah, it seems like one of my suggestions is already on there, because I was thinking maybe, let's see, we could do like an election of the year kind of thing.
Yeah, like what was the most interesting or surprising eletion? Something like that.
And it doesn't have to be like just UK elections. It could be just any election in any part of the world.
Yeah. Oh, but then do I start splitting it into international election of the year? And you, no, we'd keep that as a broad one, I suppose, wouldn't we? And then finally, any other comments? You know what? I'm not even reading all of these out. But you can just read. Oh no, hang on. That was for a suggestion to change the voting system. Okay, yeah. Any other comments? And then we'll read them all out. Why not? Fuck it. Any other comments? The Captain Swiss viewership said, Cracker, Free the English, Rishi Dishy Time, Based, Your Mum, Epstein Didn't Kill Himself, We're No Strangers to Love, Merry Christmas. It feels like I'm listing off like the top charts of something, you know, like, the charts for the UK Christmas #1. Coming at number 20, it's Cracker. 19, Free the English. 18, Rishi Dishy Time. Number 17, it's Based. Number 16 is Your Mum. 15, Epstein Didn't Kill Himself. 14, We're No Strangers to Love. 13, Merry Christmas. 12, Have a Good Poll. 11, Bring Back Stizer. 10, Merry Christmas. 9, Welcome Back to the Autism of Internet Politics. 8, have a Mid-Milky Award, maybe. Go on.
No, I was, Bring Back Stizer, yes, only because he is simultaneously infuriating but hilarious. I mean, like, don't you remember those like times where you said that you got like the most views when he was just having a go at like vegans and me and you know?
I don't know if it was the most views or if it was the most dislikes.
Yeah, but it's still good. Look, it helps with the.
I've put so much work and effort into Soviet Union unpersoning him over the past 4 years, and now we've just blown all that right back up again.
Anyway. Psycho Ben says, please don't bring back Stizer, just don't, and all that stuff. But anyway, so out of curiosity, does that mean future Milky Awards will be done under a PR voting system?
Future Milky Awards.
Quite a good point.
Future Milky Awards, I'm thinking about how best to change the nominations and voting system, because there are some downsides to the way we do it at present, not least that the nominations don't always lend themselves to a nice round number for the finalists, and it doesn't always hit up what I view as the main options being for the year. So maybe there needs to be a little bit more input from me, but I'll think about it. I've got 11 months to work it out. It's okay.
Oh yeah. By the way, Jerry says in the private chat, mark my words, I'm getting a stream guest in the year. And also, I think someone gave you another super chat, Swiss.
What? Money for me?
That's me.
Oh, you?
I mean,
you give me a super chat.
That's me.
Oh, Kate. Okay, hang on a minute. I'm getting all these £2 super chats, and here you are, £1.79, cheapskate.
Yeah, because you don't deserve £2.
Because you called her KKK, so she's going to undercut £2. All right.
So KJ411 says justice for Kaylee. But then the two comments below that in the chat are Lee Ball saying KKK base nickname of the year and Dr. Richmond KKK.
Yeah.
That better not
racist.
be a 2022 Milky Award thing.
What, KKK?
Please to God.
Oh no, seriously, just get flung in at the deep end. I promise you, it's much better.
Anyway, guys, that is the Milky Awards of this year. So Big Pharma comes out on top. The British public is on the bottom. God, this sounds like a Piers Corbyn speech already. But then again, he's crank of the year. Boris, worst politician. Keir Starmer, non-entity. What a wonderful year it's been. And this was the fifth. Can you believe the fifth lot of Milky Awards we've done? We've been doing it for this long now.
Uh-huh.
Amazing. What will things be like in another 5 years?
I honestly, Swiss, I can't believe that. Like, it just seems ridiculous. Like, really weird.
I can't believe how quickly time's gone by. I really can't.
Depending on how the US midterms go, I think I have an idea of what some of the nominations might end up being for certain categories.
Well, we shall say. And like I say, we're gonna next year. Well, I should say this year technically because it's 2022. But we are going to be having now a best US politician and worst US politician category. So that will get nice and competitive, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, the one thing going, I suppose, for the Democrats is that they're not absolutely bad. So of course that's a thing.
That is a thing. I mean, I think in the hyper-polarized US politics, I mean, I'd vote Democrat to stop a Republican.
So
well, that's it. No, but my point being that, like, you know, any person, and I wouldn't agree with them either, but, you know, the thing that they have going for them is that they're not absolutely nuts. So
well, that was Joe Biden's main unique selling point, that he's not Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why interrupt, eh? Which is basically kind of, oh God, I hate to say it, it's true though, isn't it? Like once you see the Tories doing what they're doing, why interrupt?
Never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake or something. There's a quote along those lines, isn't there?
Yeah, and look, Keir Starmer not only looks prime ministerial because he's boring and he wears a suit, but he's not this bunch of clowns. That's it.
That's very true. Liberal Zardos has said you need a glittery showbiz jacket next year, Cal. Should have done one for the. I'll tell you what, for the 5th anniversary, ladies and gentlemen, as a little blast from the past, because you do remember since Swiss first started off all of his streaming. You know,
yes, you used to, I know you used to.
No, yes, we're back.
Yes,
it's Chocolate Swiss. Hey guys. For one night only, you get the OnlyFans preview free.
I'm actually wearing a wearable duvet.
Are you?
Yeah.
That
it's so amazing. Yeah. My mum got it for me for Christmas. Now, when I saw it, I was like, well, that's really ugly. And then I had a horrendous virus like last week. I'm pretty sure it might have been COVID, but I then went, oh, this feels good. And since then, I've been like, oh yeah, every single day I've been like, well into it. I've been like, yes.
You'd just be living it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, no, not really. I'm like a weird mix of kind of messy, but like overly clean. So I've been, you know, washing it and putting it on the like that thing. But it's super amazing. So tell your, you know, KKK that if she wants one.
She's got her face in her hand at the moment, going, "Oh God, this nickname's stuck."
Yeah,
I
mean, you've caused it, and one day you might get cancelled for it. You could be like, you're gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna go for MP, and then this is gonna surface.
There are much worse things I said that I'll cancel for than that.
Much worse things. This is genuinely a wearable kind of fleece, like actual fleece blanket. It's amazing.
You should be. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. on the shopping channel to kind of sell it. Yes.
I was just about to say that. I was like, this sounds like the JVC or whatever it is, where it's like, $9.99.
Oh, by the way, Swiss, Jerry has put in a super chat for you.
Okay, we have a super chat for £2 that says "Say my name" from Heisenberg.
Oh yeah.
From Jerry. Thank you very much, Jerry. Right, guys, on that bombshell, I'm going to wrap up the stream. I'll stay with you guys and chat to you off air afterwards. But we've been going for a good hour and a half, so it's time for us to bugger off. I need to stretch my legs while I'm at it as well. So I will just say thank you, dear viewers, not only for tuning into this year's Milky Awards, but those of you who stuck with us for 5 years, those of you who joined us since and decided it's worth sticking around. We like to hear them chat shit about Mike Gates. I don't shit on the Lib Dems as much as I used to do. If anyone came here just for that, they'll be disappointed.
Only because they hammered the Tories twice in safe seats. That's the only reason. It's no actual other reason why.
Yeah. As long as I keep winning by-elections, I'll have nice things to say about them electorally, at least.
Well, didn't you always say that on the ground they're brilliant when it comes to by-elections?
Oh, yeah. They're good on the ground game. Psycho Ben says, much worse things. Do I have to bring up the good old Jews quote, Swiss? I'll say it myself. I joked that the Jews did 9/11. They didn't. It was Bush, and he's not Jewish. Okay? So it's fine. We've got it. It's no problem.
I'm pretty sure that you've never actually... Oh, maybe he did say that. I don't know.
I think I've said it more times reading out Ben's quote of me apparently saying it than whenever I'd originally apparently said it. But there we are.
I know, I'm sure we've all said one or two things on the stream that we probably regret down the line later.
No, I think we've all said about 150 plus things that we regret. So yeah. Anyway, carry on.
So anyway, I will wrap it up there. So dear viewers, thank you for joining us. Please drop the stream a like if you've enjoyed it. Thank you to all of these super chatters today. And of course, let me remember the winners. Cameron Hickman, once again, congratulations for Side Chatter of the Year. And myself and the Britisher. Well done to us for winning Stream Guest of the Year. It's been a long time, but I deserve Stream Guest. God damn it. I've been on enough times.
You're the host, though, Swiss.
I mean, also, you're naked. I mean, you deserve an award just for randomly just owning it and just being naked and being like, fuck it.
Well, I think
as far as sorry, John, go on.
I think it's just topless angels.
Well, I was going to say, as far as the viewers are concerned, they can use their imagination. They can imagine
indeed. They could think what's going on from the waist down. You know?
Okay, now I have that image stuck in my head. Thanks, angels.
And it's time to go. Thanks, everyone. See you all soon.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.